So, I want to talk about how autistic people and many other neurodivergents, how I think we kind of think in a way slower and learn slower, especially with a bunch of basic things in childhood, and why you soon try to teach us stuff fast or panic if we're not the kindest as a young kid, and so on, and why this is not a bad thing. Well, what do I mean? Why might we take longer to learn something? For many reasons, and many reasons might not be able to simply get simple concepts or seem rude or something at first as a young child. And one of them is because we don't fit in, and therefore it's hard for us to understand other people when we're young. For example, I had a super high pain tolerance, super freaking high. So when I saw other people being, when I saw other people being hurt physically or something, I didn't seem compassionate because to me, it would not bother me. I would just get up and move on. On the other hand, I did not understand why people might want the lights on or a lot of other things because they bothered me. Why people enjoy music or something because it really bothered me when they enjoyed it. So my perspective was totally different. So it took me a lot longer to understand other people because they weren't me in so many ways. And that's just a few examples. Another thing is that a lot of us just don't just do something because you tell us to do it. We don't say please and thank you because you just yell at us to say please and thank you over and over again, or you give us a command. We are not as just obedient in some ways, and we also do not and then you can add other things like we might have memory or to execute a function or memory issues or something that might take us longer for it to that we might forget it or it might not stick in with our head as much. So you might tell us something and we might forget it or might not even hear it. And another thing is that it takes longer for us to process stuff and figure out stuff. But there's a lot of benefits to this, actually. So let's say I tell a kid normally that yelling and stuff is rude. And I tell them over and over again yelling is rude and stuff like that because they're all the time yelling. Seems innocent enough maybe to you. Or say you should not kick or hit someone. Seems innocent enough, but is it? Because sometimes you might need to yell for self-defense. You might need to say no for self-defense. You might need to kick and stuff for self-defense. It's complicated. Is offering a drink always nice to a guest? You might say yes, but what if I'm have such problem moving that it's better that you take the drink yourself than me wear myself down and spend a little precious time. And so on and so on. When you take the time to process things and think why an action is good or bad or something, then, and you teach it that way where you say, oh, you should say please and thank you because it acknowledges that you hear them and you appreciate them, which everyone wants that acknowledgement and to know they feel real. Then they know when to say please and thank you, and it's not say please and thank you meaningfully to everyone. If you say that you don't yell because yelling is loud and bothers people, and it seems like you're forcing people, they can understand it, but they also know when it's appropriate to yell. If you explain things and take the time, but that taking the time approach might take a lot longer because it might take a lot longer for it to sink in, for them to fully understand the implications as they develop an understanding of the world. You might have communication barriers they need to develop. So it takes a lot longer than a process just do this, do that. And that's how a lot of autistic people don't learn the best. And later on, we're less likely to give it up because it's so deeply ingrained with a fundamental understanding. But you also see this outside in other things we learn. Like a lot of people think they learn math and science and think they understand concepts that they actually absolutely do not understand in math and science. Let me give you some examples. A great example would be that thing about rainbows. People tell you they understand how rainbows work. The rainbows work because light comes in, hits some droplets of water, which scatters the light waves into the rainbow colors. But that doesn't really work out, because why doesn't the next droplet of light unscatter it? Why isn't every rainstorm that appears? Why does it only appear in a very certain distance? Why does that scattering make a bow shape? And there's actually a fancy answer that has to do with mist and metamaterialistic effects. But even the most advanced supercomputer has actually, not the most advanced, but advanced supercomputers have not been able to fully replicate the effects of making a rainbow. People say that, oh yes, I understand evolution, it's survival of the fittest. Evolution is way more complicated. Actually, the main mechanism is genetic drift, and there's a lot of things going on. Genetic drift is just changes in the population by random chance. Some randomly have more babies, some babies randomly survive, some randomly die out, some genes are randomly passed on more than other ones. Like, you might have 3 children that are all just randomly blonde, or brunette, or something from your parents. And then there's it's not survival of the fittest, it has to do with community. Sometimes having a mixture in a community is better than having one type, such as if everyone ran in the left direction, the predator knows always to run in the left direction. But if you split up left and right, it's better than either left or right, because the predator can't predict if you're going left or you're going right. You can actually see this in rock, paper, scissors too. The best strategy is to randomly mix up your rock, paper, scissors, so no one can predict what you're doing, and formulate a counter strategy that's good. Then there's also a lot more going on. Sometimes diversity is bad because it can and people thought that diversity is always good in evolution. It's a lot more complicated. and people all the time think they understand these stuff, but they don't. And if in science and math and stuff, you ask enough questions, you always get to the I don't know point. Doesn't mean it's not useful or anything, but people think they know a lot more, and this overconfidence has led to a lot of problems in society. The backseat expert. But the whole point is also with eye contact. People tell you eye contact means you're paying attention, but people do not take the time to process the basic assumptions. Doesn't mean you can listen to a radio, you can listen to TV, you can listen to a lot of things without making eye contact. And eye contact also is a fake judge of paying attention. So you're more likely to think people are paying attention than not paying attention, and people can get away with it, and vice versa, leading to a whole messed up society instead of asking them questions. So this process is a lot slower, it takes a lot longer, but it leads to better people in the long run that will not overly make all these bad assumptions and keep questioning it. Now, it's frustrating, I can say, learning this way for any topic, but just take that into account. And there is also some benefits of thinking fast and thinking fast and not taking time to learn stuff, because you can sometimes get more stuff done quicker. So I'll give that, but think about this. Also, when you take this slow method, people are less likely to feel like you're attacking them and more likely to listen. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year and 4,000 watch hours, which is really hard. With your help, I think we can do it. Goodbye.